Dhyanam and then go into Bhagavad Gita. Gita Dhyanam is another set of mantras. If you can learn by heart, it's very nice. It gives you the gist of Gita. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Mudina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshini Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Hullara Vindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraika Panaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gita Mritaduhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavaha Dogdha Gopala Nandanaha Partho Vatsasudhir Bhokta Dugdam Gita Amritam Mahate Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Yam Brahma Bhishma Drona Tata Jayadrita Jala Gandhara Nilotpala Shalyagrahavati Kripena Bahani Karnena Velakula Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vartini Sotirna Khalu Pandavai Rananari Kaivartaka Keshavaha Parasharya Vachasaroja Mamalam Gitartha Gandotkatam Nana Kyanaka Kesaram Harikata Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shakpataira Haraha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvamshina Shreyase Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Bande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Sthunvanti Divya Istavai Vedai Sangha Padakramo Panishadai Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyana Vastita Tatgatena Manasa Yasya Ugina Yasyantam Nakvita Sura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Sorry, a little bit of cough. Yasyantam Navidusura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. We are into chapter 4. Om Shri Krishna Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Chaturtyo Dhyaya. And this chapter is called Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. We will chant from verse number 32. We'll chant it slowly. If you can follow and chant it with me, it will be very nice. Okay. Evam Bahuvidha Yajna. Evam Bahuvidha Yajna. Vitata Brahmano Mukhe. Vitata Brahmano Mukhe. Karmajan Vidhitan Sarvan. Karmajan Vidhitan Sarvan. Evam Nyatva Vimokshase. Evam Nyatva Vimokshase. Whole verse. Evam Bahuvidha Yajna. Vitata Brahmano Mukhe. Karmajan Vidhitan Sarvan. Evam Nyatva Vimokshase. So this, the subject starts like this. There are 4 important stages. First, spiritual goal is top priority. What is spiritual goal? We will never mind repeating any number of times. Spiritual goal for all. Not just for people born in this Bharatavarsha. Not just people who are called Hindus, not just for them. It is for mankind. The spiritual goal is the discovery that I am a conscious being, a happy being. I am a conscious being functioning through this body-mind complex. And there is no cause for shoka. There is no cause for sorrow. Sorrow does not belong to the being. Sorrow belongs to the body. I am the actor. I play a lot of roles. The sorrow, the despair, the guilt, the problems and pressures, challenges, all belong to the roles, not to me, the actor. I am supposed to constantly remember the green room personality that I am only an actor. I am only playing a role. The role's problems cannot be mine. There is a cognitive distance between me and the role. There is a cognitive distance. I am the green room personality who was never affected. That is the spiritual goal. Okay? All other goals, okay, are to be converted to be subservient to this spiritual goal. All other goals should contribute to if this is my goal is to know. It is not even becoming, it is being, is to know that I am a person, a full person who lacks nothing, a conscious being, a happy being. This is a process of discovery, and the self-discovery must, all the activities that I do should be in keeping with this goal, to discover the happy being that I am. Okay, I've quoted this example a number of times. I don't mind repeating it to you. There was a small ring, okay? The ring was having a problem. I am so small. I fit into the baby's little finger. The baby is no longer little. The baby has grown, and I'm now consigned to a small box in the locker of the family. And oh my God, look at the bangles, look at the necklaces, look at that earrings, studs, and oh my God, I'm so small, I'm a nobody. That's your confusion. I am a nobody, I'm an insignificant person. The Guru ring comes and tells you, Are Baba, look at your content. You are gold. That's why I have not thrown you away, kept you inside a locker. In content, you are gold. In form, you are a ring. The form has a function, a name, but the value is for the ring. You are not insignificant. It is my conclusion, like the small ring, that I am insignificant. The Guru comes and tells me here, the Guru is Sri Krishna. The Guru comes and tells me here, hey, you're not insignificant. You are a significant person. He amends this and said, you are the significant person. He amends it even further and says, you are the only significant being, not a person. You are a being functioning through this body-mind complex. You are a human being. Otherwise, you are just a being, a conscious being. That is the nature that's being unfolded to you. That is your nature being unfolded to you. All other goals have to be converted to second priority and subservient and contributing to this goal. Okay, then grow over emotional dependence on, careful, grow over emotional dependence on possession, events, relationships, packages, labels. That's what in Sanskrit they call it arthata. Grow over the emotional dependence. Having money is fine. Money does give me economic security to an extent. It gives me financial elbow room. But to think that without money I am an incomplete being is a fallacy. It is called Shobhana Adhyasa, putting more value to money than what it actually requires. So, grow over emotional dependence. And that I am not the role, that I am only the subject who plays all these roles, is a matter of knowledge. I have to work towards gaining this knowledge. And gaining this knowledge does not come easily. I have to work for it. This antakarana, this buddhi, this system in which knowledge takes place has to become yogya, has to become fit. Patrata should be there. For this patrata, I do karma yoga. What is karma yoga? All karma that I do, all actions that I do, my position, my possession, my achievements, my labels, my packages, everything I do with a spirit of Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. And the result, I take it as Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. Do it with an attitude, receive the results with an attitude, just an attitude change. I don't do anything depending upon these activities for my emotional satisfaction. I said, this is fine. I'm happy with it. I'm happy doing all these activities. I don't have to stop doing anything. I can enjoy everything. Just remember this. I don't do anything for the sake of happiness. I do everything out of happiness. I am a joyful being. Out of that, all my actions stem. All my actions are here so that I become a joyful being. These becomes more powerful. I am a happy being. Out of my happy being flows all my activities. This is the knowledge. And for this knowledge, preparation take place. Karma yoga, antakarana shuddhi. This instrument should be fit enough to receive, comprehend, reflect, more importantly, make this knowledge your own. It should work for me. It should work for me. Otherwise, what's the point in wasting? It should work for me. And for that purpose, in this section, till we came to this verse number 34, the teacher has said, for this, one of the few things I should learn to do is to cultivate what is called emotional independence, relative emotional independence. Before I discover absolute independence, absolute emotional independence, I discover relative emotional independence. The relative independent discovery of emotional independence involves a series of action where I perform things in a spirit of self-discipline. And for that, they have given the drishtanta, the example of a yajna. In a yajna, in a fire ritual, which is very common among the Vaidika parampara, a fire ritual, there is a person who does the offering. There is a fire, there is a ladle, there are dravya offered. When each one of them is offered, they are reduced to ashes. They have no capacity to reproduce. So I start with dravya yajna. I give away things, not what I don't need, okay? I don't need my old clothes. I give away things to which I am attached to which I look at it and say, oh my God, it contributes my well-being. I give away those things, okay? Dana. Then I do other yajna, like niyata ahara. Even food is a yajna. I choose my food, satvik ahar, choose my food. I don't eat rancid stuff. I eat fresh food. I don't waste. I eat just enough to fill 50%, 25% water, 25% space. And this food in my system contributes to the physiological body, the physical body, the emotional layer and the intellectual layer. Food contributes everywhere. I do it in a spirit of yajna. Then there are sense objects. There are so many sense objects. There are my sense organs. Sense objects, contact with the sense organs gives me pleasure. I need not give up anything. I enjoy everything in a spirit of yaga. That is, everything is enjoyed in a spirit of mindful restraint. I know my limits. And I also keep one more thing in mind. All my activities towards seeking pleasure should be in line with dharma. Dharma here to be read as what is proper and what is appropriate. I can earn all the wealth I like, provided it is proper, it is appropriate. How much you earn is not important, how you earn is important. How you earn determines how much free from conflict you are. How much you enjoy is not important, how you enjoy is important. How many degrees? Yeah, everything is fine. Just about everything is fine. But if your personal happiness is going to be pegged to all these, teacher says, anatma, you're going to end up discovering the sad person. You don't have to discover, you'll automatically, sad person will come out. To discover the happy person in you, the pleased person in you, you just have to enjoy everything. Enjoy everything. But understand, you have got the degree has not got you. This example I love giving, I don't mind repeating it as often. Many of our happiness is, linked to the blue tick that I give. Look at I get when I send my WhatsApp message. I send a WhatsApp message to someone. So now this I've been looking at, my children have not greeted me Happy Father's Day so far. Suppose, whole day, I have not received so far. My son, daughter, nobody has sent me Happy Father's Day. So what do? Make myself miserable? Forget about making myself miserable. I can make them also miserable. You have forgotten your father, is it? So once you have grown up and settled down and got into your own families, this old man doesn't matter, is it? How miserable you can make them? This is called pegging your personal happiness to a response from others. I sing a song, I want people to clap and appreciate. I upload a song, I look at how many likes are there. Hey, look, I have hooked my happiness to appreciation and from so many people. Well, the remote control has gone there. The controller, find a remote. It has become a remote. The control has become a remote. That fellow presses the button and determines how happy I am. Suppose I walk in and I expect the people to recognize me as I walk in. One fellow can disturb, just one fellow. As I walk in, look away. Gone, my happiness gone. If he looks out of the window, my happiness goes out. So, offering everything in the spirit of yajna, okay, leaves me a free person inside. So the example, Drishtanta of yajna has been used in verse number 32. We'll read also 33. This is Shreyan Dravyam Shreyan Dravyamayat Yajya Jnana Yajya Parantapa Sarvam Karmakhilam Partha Jnane Parisamapyate. So, superior to Dravya Yajya, material, giving away material, superior to that is Jnana Yajya. Jnana Yajna is learning, Swadhyaya, Pravachana, because it reinforces your learning. And how do I teach? Not seeing how many people have joined me, how many people attend my program. I teach more as a reinforcement of my learning. And then if one person gets benefit, it's a great sale. Okay, Jnana Yajna, okay. This is verse number 33. Then 34, he said, now 34 onwards, we start learning today. Now, how does this jnana complete? That is the subject matter. He says, so jnana upaya. So for shoka, the way to remove shoka is jnana. To know that you cannot be happy. You cannot be unhappy. There's no sadness at all in your system. You have to know the being that you are. That is jnana. And in jnana, upaya, how does the jnana come to you? I want to give you some information here. This is called Atma Vidya. Atma Vidya means knowledge of yourself. Over a period of time, this has been blown out of proportion. They say, oh, Atma Vidya, only Mahatmas can get. If only Mahatmas can get Atma Vidya, why did Krishna teach Arjuna on the battlefield? No, that you must have a friend like Krishna. These are arguments which don't fit it. Atma Vidya is meant for you and me. Samsari, the fellow who has a struggle. We want to discover every one of us here wants to discover the happy being in ourselves. Atma Vidya is meant for you and me. Only Mahatmas get it. You get it, and why don't you become a Mahatma? Well, that's one problem. You should have done a lot of punya. So what is the meaning? You should have done a lot of punya. Only then you will get it. You must have the spirit of inquiry. You must want to know. Then because there is the word Brahma, Brahma Prayatna, it is like trying to reach Brahma Loka. It is tough. It is as tough or as easy or any other subject. Just as the study of any other subject requires a certain diligence and application and sincerity and regularity, this subject also needs diligence, application, sincerity, regularity, and commitment. And just as for learning any other subject, you would go to a place and learn, you would go to a school and learn. We used to call it ashram, pathashala. In the same way, this also you have to go somewhere and learn. That's what the teacher is highlighting. We'll see it in detail. Okay. Verse number 34. Tat vidhi pranipatena, tat vidhi pranipatena, tat vidhi pranipatena, pariprashnena sevaya, pariprashnena sevaya, pariprashnena sevaya. Whole line. Tad vidhi pranipatena, pariprashnena sevaya, tad vidhi pranipatena, pariprashnena sevaya. Upadekshyanti te jnanam, upadekshyanti te jnanam, upadekshyanti te jnanam, jnanina tattvadarshinaha, jnanina tattvadarshinaha, jnanina tattvadarshinaha. Whole line. Upadekshyanti te jnanam, jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Whole verse. Tad vidhi pranipatena, pariprashnena sevaya, upadekshyanti te jnanam, jnanina tattvadarshinaha. Such a lovely verse. All verses are good. But the verse speaks to you and the teacher speaks to you. He says, this has to be vidhi. You have to know it. Okay? How do you know it? Just as you know any other subject. It requires shravana, manana, nididhyasana. Shravana, manana, nididhyasana. Listen, reflect, be convinced, and relate. Just as any other subject that you would learn. Any other subject that you learn requires all three. This is about you. Shravana, listen. See, there's something very important here. To know that you exist, you don't need to know anything. Any time of the day, I tickle you, I call you, there you are. Hello, you are. You're there. But the problem is that I am, there is no doubt. What I am seems to be in doubt. What I am seems to be in doubt. So your Swarupa is being revealed to you. And know your Swarupa. And knowing is a cognitive process. This Antakarana, the instrument of knowing, must be fit. Patrata should be there. So it says Tat Vidhi. Okay, Tat Vidhi, know it. Okay. It is very important that we spend regular time at regular times for a length of time. It will not come in one day. It will not come by touch of Guru. It will not by, there are people who come and say, I got Netra Diksha. Netra Diksha means Guru saw you. Netra Diksha, Guru saw. Sparsha Diksha, Guru touched me. Nothing will happen. You will possibly feel excited for a short while. Netra Diksha, this Diksha, well, okay. Sunne mein acha lagta hai, kaam ka nahi. None of them work. Suppose Netra Diksha work, you want to study a complicated subject like medicine. The doctor has to come just look at you. You would have got it, no? Why didn't you get it? Because Netra Diksha doesn't work. If Netra Diksha doesn't work for that knowledge, it will not work for this knowledge also. Vidhi, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyas. That's the only way you have to learn. Then, this being a subject which has a lot of subtle nuances, requires sukshma buddhi, requires a lot of understanding, for which your ego must go down. See, the problem, there's one category of people called Nastika. Nastika, I don't believe in God. He has concluded, therefore he won't accept it. Whatever, what will you try to prove him to? Nothing will happen. Just leave him alone. I don't believe in him. All this doesn't work. What will you try and explain? No Shraddha, no humility. What will you teach him? Okay, if there is God, where is he now? These are questions. It shows there's a lot of arrogance there. It won't work because this cup is full. If you have a cup here, I keep pouring water. After some time, it will flow all over the place. Cup should be empty. If it's not empty, how will it fill? Pranipatena, I must do namaskar to the Guru. Whom? To the teacher. We'll come to what is the qualification. The teacher. So, Tat Vidhi. Drop your ahankara. And what kind of namaskar I do? I do what is called Sa Ashta Anga Namaskar. The namaskar should have 8 angas of your system should fall on the floor. Flat on the floor. What are they? Shirasa, head. Urasa, chest. Vapusha, stomach. Januhu, knees. Padbhyam, legs. Karabhyam, 6. What are the other 2? Manasa, gira, by mouth, by mind, and by words. All 8 angas should touch the floor. That is called Sashtanga Namaskara. That comes down from the tradition. Now people have said, oh, that's okay, these have come. Once some people lie down to do Sashtanga, then getting up becomes a project. There are problems. Women folk are told, do Shashta Anga Namaskara. 6 only. You don't do Ashtanga, you do Shashtanga. The Urasa and Vapusha need not touch the floor. So Sirasa, Janu, Padbyam, Karabhyam. Then Manasagir. The Urasa and Vapusha need not touch. Shashtanga, the other is Ashtanga. These are the Namaskar prescribed. Fall flat on the floor and do Namaskar. What does it tell you? You concede your ego. You drop your ego and become objective to what the teacher says. What the teacher says. Okay? Then he says, the teacher says, Pariprashnena. You have to ask the teacher. So you go and stand in front. What do you want? Don't you know, sir? No, I don't know. Pariprashnena. Ask what you want. The teacher will say, tell me what you want. Or he will bless you. If I khana vana khilate. When a young boy like Nachiketa went to Yama and said, Yama said, what do you want? He said, I want three things. Hey, what are the three things you want? First of all, when I go back, my parents should accept me and they should not have any regrets. Second, teach me that yajna, which helps people go to Swargaloka. And third, tell me whether there is life after death. Some people say it is, some people say it is not so. He asked a young boy of 8. Because the teacher should know, teacher would like to know what is that you really want. You want Ashirvada? I want my children to get married. I want children my children are married, but they are not having children. I'm starting a business venture. आप उसको bless करके दीजिए. Okay, so pariprashnena, that is first. Then as the teaching unfolds, I have to express with absolute bhavana, dina bhavana, whatever doubts I have to express. Whatever clarification I want, I should seek. Bhagavad Gita, Arjun says in chapter 3 beginning, Hey Krishna, Vyamishrene Vavakhyena Buddhim Mohaya Sivame. By a mixture of words, you are as though confusing me. Tat ekam vada nischitya. Tell me one. Yena shreyon apyam, so that I get shreya. And chapter 4 he says, I can understand. You are my contemporary. You teaching me, I can understand. You say you taught Surya. You taught all these people. Pariprashna. You have to ask questions, valid questions. And a teaching must hold water. If the teaching does not hold water, neither the teaching nor the plumbing will hold water. Even plumber won't trust. It should hold water. Even the plumbing, just as the plumbing should hold water, the teaching should hold water. When I tell you, Tat Tvamasi, you are a whole being. You should not say, kaisa ho sakta hai. Even if it is kaisa ho sakta hai, it should be converted perhaps to, perhaps it is true. You should say, perhaps it is true. It's perhaps true. It will work for you. Will it work for me? I am sure it will not work for me. There are people who will constantly say, what you say is neither logical nor practical. 33%. The other 33% will say, is very logical, Guruji, but not practical. The third category is more dangerous. It will come and tell you, it's neither, it is practical, it is logical, but it won't work for me. You don't know my difficulty. 1% will come and tell you, 1%. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye. We'll see it in chapter 7. 1% will come and tell you, it is logical, it is practical, and I am convinced it will work for me. Okay, that is the spirit with which we should operate. Pariprashnena. I'm not clear. Can you explain this a little more? That's how we learn. Pariprashnena. Sevaya. Sevaya means, there's a very beautiful Sanskrit word. It says Sushrusha. Sushrushya means we always translate it as doing service to the Guru. Press his feet, give him food, give him water to bath. Those days you had to fetch water from the well. These days you have to, he has to open the tap, and there are some people who will not let him even bath in peace. They will say, can I switch on the geyser? Can I switch off the geyser? Can I do this? Leave that man free for some time. Let him have a bath on his own. Can you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this? That is not Sushrusha means. It is the desire to know. The desire to know is so strong that you always are close to the Guru. Not only are you close to the Guru, you observe him. You don't take your eyes off him. You don't take your ears off his words. You observe how he handles everything, how he replies, how certain questions are answered. How does he tackle arrogance? How does he, there is something called Vidvat Ahankar. Somebody says he already knows everything. He knows everything. It happened once in Chennai. I was going to give a public talk on a subject. There was a gentleman who came. So, very handsome, good-looking person. Has been in his 70 years. Absolutely saying Tamil, Shiva Param. Shiva Param means look like Lord Shiva himself. Blessed by Shiva. I said, Namaskar. I said, Namaskar. I was much younger then. Yes, what are you going to say? If you sit, no, I'm going to talk on this subject. Now, in this subject, what are you going to talk about? I said, if you sit down, you will know. No, can you briefly explain to me? I said, no, I'm not here to explain to you briefly, it just flows. This is called Vidvat Ahankar. He assumes that he knows much more than I know, and he has come there just to check what is it that I. So that put, Mohan, officer from this bank, and then he says, and otherwise, things like that. And then he has seen me perform on stage here and there. I must be singing a song, drama or something. He said, what does this fellow know about this subject? So, there are people who come with this ahankara. But if you're associated with the Guru all the time, you listen to his words, you listen to his body, you look at his body language. Okay, that is called Sevaya. Sevaya is not pressing his feet and things like that. Sevaya is mean observing the Guru, learning from the Guru in and outside the class. In and outside the class. It happened, our Swamiji once arrived in Kolkata. It was raining like, Kolkata rains, you have to see to be. Raining heavily. I had gone to receive him at the airport, and those days no mobile phone. So we had to wait. The car driver has to come in search of me. Everybody umbrella and blocks everybody's vision. And there's a breeze. So I was looking a little worried. So Swami said, let us sit. The driver won't go without us. Don't worry. You sit down. Waited. The driver came looking for us. I thought, it's raining and people are all over the place. And this person is absolutely come. I learned it. I was very young then. I learned something. It helped me in my international flights as well. You're sitting in those huge airports, where from terminal to terminal, you have to take a cab. And checked him. I used to sit down. My transit was a nice nap there. The flight will not leave without. If it leaves, the responsibility of them to send me wherever I have to go at their cost. And no problem at all. So like that, you can learn from words, kind words, compassion. So, pariprashnena sevaya. Okay, and let's go a step further. So, tat vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. And this teacher will upadekshanti. He will teach you. He or she will teach you. Now, how do you recognize a Guru? This is the most important question which all of us seekers must necessarily know. All of us should know. The Guru need not be a miracle man. He need not produce things out of thin air. He need not touch you with healing. with his healing powers. So you go to him, I'm going for an interview, Guruji. Come, mil jayega, pakka mil jayega. All these are no signs of a guru. The guru may do it in addition. Some gurus read your mind. There are people, there's some swamis, you go and wait on the ground floor, you write your name in a piece of paper and there'll be somebody who will send it up there. Up there, means first floor. So as you walk in, this swami will tell you why you have come. What is it that you're seeking? Oh my God, and people will say, They'll say, you've come for this purpose. Guru need not be like that. The Guru need not be an avatar. The Guru need not be a miracle man. Okay? Now, there are, the Shastra says, now what must the Guru teach you? Okay? What must the Guru teach you? The Guru must teach you what is available in the subject matter. So when we talk about to learn Tatvidhi or learning it, you have to go to Acharya Advigamya. You have to go to the teacher. And the teacher must teach you what is in the book. There must be a proper course. He must take you through. It is not just some random sporadic talks once in 3 years you listen, nothing. You better not listen. It is like learning any other subject. There must be a textbook. There must be something to learn from. Okay? And the teacher must know the subject. He must be a Shrotriya. I'm going to teach you Gita, and this is the first time I'm opening the book. What can I teach you? Okay, you're going to a doctor for a treatment. Okay? Will you walk into anybody? Naam kya hai? Look at the qualification. Look at the other qualification. Look, ask somebody. They say in Tamil, the person must be, there's a very beautiful Tamil word, Kai Rashi. Kai Rashi means he must have the healing touch. He has done hundreds of surgery and not even one has failed. So the Guru's qualification, doctor's qualification, his experience, how many students has he taught, all this are valid, are very, very valid. Does he know the subject? My Guru used to give a beautiful example. You have to go and ask him, like you go to a doctor. You will have to tell him, no, sir, mein dard hai, or when I cough, there is a headache. Like I have, when I cough, I have a headache. I must go tell him that. Suppose I go tell him, you are a doctor, you should know. You will look at me and you will write out in a piece of paper and say, take it. To whom? So 4 buildings away, there is a veterinarian. You go to him. He will find out. He is the expert in finding out without you telling. Possibly he'll say, go there. It doesn't work like that. You have to ask. And it should relate to a subject matter. He should relate in the subject matter. Shrotriya. He should know how to teach this subject to you. He should be able to convey it to the student. He must be able to give appropriate examples. Shrotriyasya. He must be a Shrotriya. Shrotriya means one who is established in the Shastras, who has studied the Shastras. He must know at least how to chant. He must know how to read the Bhashya properly. At least then you can understand what he is teaching. He is called a Shrotriya Guru. Okay. Then you have what is called a Brahmanishta. A Brahmanishta means he is rooted in the knowledge. Brahmanishta is absolutely rooted in the knowledge. He knows the subject very well. This one. He must know what he is teaching. Brahmanishta means he is one established in the knowledge. He knows the subject and he also knows how to teach. Now here I would like to give you some, it is not aside, it is relating to that. In India, for instance, we have a lot of wise people, saints, who know. Perhaps because of their past janma, they know. They know the subject. They are what is called Brahma. Anubhava does not mean experience. I would simply say they know. But they do not know how to teach. And if you ask them questions, because they have not gone through the prakriya of teaching, they may not be able to explain to you properly. Any subject for that matter, unless I should not only know the subject, I should know how to unfold the subject to you. Imagine you go to a class that somebody does mathematics problem, answer, copy kar lo. No, I must know how to teach it to you. I should know. So, there are people who have the knowledge, but who perhaps might not have gone, I will not say they don't know, they have not gone through the prakriya of learning how to teach. That's what there's a teacher training course. Therefore, there's a teacher training course. You have to learn how to teach. He must know how to teach. Now, there are so many saints who are Brahmanishtas. And they'll say something, there'll be people sitting around, some followers. They will interpret it according to their understanding, and you have it. So let me give you a personal experience. There was a saint, who in one of his teachings said, all paths lead to the same goal. Okay. So in one forum I said, I'm sorry, I disagree. All of them became my enemies overnight. They said, you have no Shraddha, you're disrespecting our Guru. How can you say all that? I said, I'm only saying I disagree. All paths do not lead to the same goal when it comes to spiritual goals. I said, if all paths lead to the same goal, why is there so much fight? Sochiye zara, it should fit into logic. It should fit into some logic, no? If it doesn't fit into logic, you are an intelligent, thinking person. You have to reject it. All goals lead to this. He meant it from a different paradigm. And the people around him have written books, volumes on this. All paths. So all religions are the same. And it is a secular Hindu who says this more often. I don't know. His secular Hindu is a funny word. Secular means equal respect to all religions, not disrespect one and being politically correct with others. That is not secular. This is ridiculous. It doesn't work that way. A small example, One person says, my God is the only God. Do you accept my God? No. My God is the only God. My goal is the only goal. If you don't accept that, you are not even worth living in this planet. My God says, my God is God. I accept your God also as God. And we are all different, calling by different names. We go to a place. If there is a place to go, you call it by a name. I call it by a name. There is no logical proof that something like that exists. It's a non-verifiable belief. I accept it. No, you can't do that. It's blasphemy. Work nahi karta hai bhai. All goals do not lead to this. All paths do not lead to the same goal. Someday we'll examine it. They do not lead to the same. And this is the mind alone works. How does it? So one person says, another person says, come and sit with me in front. I will look at you and you will get enlightened. I will touch your head. You will get enlightened. They are called Brahmanishtas. They know something and their association gives me a certain, gives me a certain emotional high. I feel inspired. There was another place where I was asked to give a talk and somebody asked me a question. I answered that question elaborately. The organizers come and say, sir, in our ashram, whenever somebody asks a question, we tell them, ask who is asking this question. I said, you may do that, but I don't do that. So they stopped calling me talking there. It doesn't make sense. Pariprashnena, if questions were not allowed, then you wouldn't be asked, you wouldn't be, Krishna wouldn't have said. Krishna says, I'm not saying. Krishna says. So, there are three types. There is a Brahmanishta Guru, there is a Shrotriya Guru. Now, the Brahmanishta Guru perhaps cannot teach you. He can inspire you by his conduct, and sometimes his conduct can even put you off. So, a Brahmanishta Guru, you have a lot of bhakti for the person. You seek his blessings. The Shrotriya Guru will not mislead you because he is going to teach from the text. It says, the Uttama Guru. The Uttama Guru is one who is a Shrotriya and one who is a Brahmanishta. One who not only knows, but who also knows how to teach it to you. That is a Shrotriya Guru and a Brahmanishta Guru. He is an Uttama Guru. And to this Uttama Guru, you must go and pranipate. Where do you find such a Guru? Look around, you will find. We say in Bhakti that Ishvara will put the Guru into your life. Look around. I found, you will also find. You know what is more disappointing? I am one small time guy. People have gone to my Guru after listening to the talk. He will go and say, Swamiji, please bless that I could get a good Guru. Can something be more tragic to this Guru? How do I get a good Guru, Swamiji? Swami, my Swami very often used, it's the most tragic question I've heard. In fact, the sight happens. I've been in this subject for a very long time now, 30 plus years. I think I started teaching in 1990. It's now 32 years since I've been teaching. And there are people, young, old, all of them, so many people I've taught. I've taught relatives. I've taught non-residents. I've taught foreigners. The most tragic question was asked by a very near relative. After talking to me for a long time and saying, oh God, I've got Brahma good experience. I got Anubhava, this Anubhava. The person calls and says, now can you refer me to a good Guru? That's what I wanted to ask the person. Don't I look like one? What should I do to look like one? I'm saying it in jest. What happens? Tragic question. Where do I find a good Guru? Hey, what is this good Guru here? Is there a bad Guru? How do you find a Guru? First, do Shravan. Do Manana. Can you relate to what the teaching says? When I tell you, you are a conscious being, you function through this body-mind complex, you play roles. Roles have dynamic scripts. What's a dynamic script? Some part is filled, some part as you write, other parts get defaulted. There are dynamic scripts. The scripts demand certain decisions and actions from you. The decision and action have to be appropriate and proper. If they are appropriate and proper, one set of outcomes will come. If they are inappropriate and improper, another set of outcomes will do, and outcomes will follow you all your life. Even if you are doing proper and appropriate action, the outcomes need not be up to your expectations. If you do improper action, you could perhaps have pleasurable results for a short while, but in the long run, problem will accrue. What is this? Reality? It is not something out of the, I am giving you realities. So learn to abide in the conscious being. Learn to lean on the conscious being and the nature of your conscious being, and bring the conscious being to play all your roles. You live a life free from shoka. We'll see the next one. You live a life free from shoka. Does it make sense? There are certain things I will say. I'll tell you, sorry, I don't have answers. Honestly. I can tell you. I tell you, if you lead a proper punya-oriented life, okay, proper punya-oriented life, you will go to a loka called Swargaloka, heaven. In Swargaloka, the divine cook, Nala himself, will cook for you. Vishwakarma will build your houses. Okay? Wonderful. If you ask me some questions, this will not hold water. So I will have to tell you, this is a non-verifiable belief. If you don't believe, no skin off my nose. Sorry, it doesn't make sense to me. I have no problem. I must be honest enough to admit that. Why should I be honest enough to admit that? To go to a place called Swargaloka, I should die first. Yes or no? So this is either burnt, buried, or thrown to the birds. If this is burnt, buried, thrown to the birds, what will you eat there? Who will cook for you? What will you eat? Virtual cooking, virtual eating. Anyway, you are doing that. Like they invite you for virtual wedding, heading, and you are seeing it virtually, and they'll give you, this is what I am cooking. You can show 1,000 rupee note and say, this is what I am virtually giving. Now, 1,000 rupees note, you can't show 2,000. What will you eat? So there are certain things which will not hold water. And if you ask the Guru, he will say, this is said in this book. I am reproducing this for you. If you have bhakti, listen. If you don't have bhakti, if you don't want to accept it, I have no problem. But that you are a conscious being is not a matter of belief. That you are playing roles is not a matter of belief. That is reality. Okay? So, so he says, tat vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam. I will give you this jnanam. How long? Till you get it properly. As a Sishya, you will listen to me till you get it properly. I will reinforce it, repeat it till you get it. That's why it's called Upadekshanti. I will teach you. And having known, let's see the next one, verse number 35. Yagyatva na punar moham. Yagyatva na punar moham. Evam yasyasi pandava. Oh, Pandava, hey, Arjun. Knowing which you will not suffer from moha and the products of moha. Yena bhutan asheshena drakshyasyat manyatho mayi. Knowing which you will understand the truth behind the entire Srishti. I will give you a jnanam which will give you a whole picture. Okay, like when we have, before going to Atmagya, I am also a person who teaches what is called how to work on core banking solutions. Okay. Before I teach, I tell them, let me give you a whole picture on how this core banking solution works. That's called design philosophy. Having known it, you may not know the detail, how to work on this module, that module, that module. But when you start working on the module, you will be able to relate to the design philosophy and resolve all kinds of conflicts. In the same way, once I give you this knowledge, once you have assimilated properly, you will have no confusion whatsoever. If you have a confusion, you will be able to resolve it by asking questions, proper questions, or by yourself. Okay, so what is moha? Moha, quite simply, is very beautifully given by the teacher. What is moha here? Okay, moha is what do you call a certain confusion which makes this stop working. What is moha? One simple moha. It is called Vishaya will give me ananda. Is a moha. These products give me happiness. Moha means confusion. These objects give me utility. There is a name, there is a function, there is utility. There is zero happiness. Coming off it may give me happiness for a short while. Going gives another kind of happiness sometimes. The old stuff, if nobody buys, what will I do? And in Vishaya, let's amend it. In Vishaya, you don't have ananda because Vishaya come with threefold dosha. What is the threefold dosha? Sukha dukkha mishra tattvam. They have sorrow and happiness mixed together. Pleasure and pain mixed together. Sukha dukkha mishra tattvam. Atripti karam. It never meets your total satisfaction. The moment I bought this in the market, I discovered there was a better model available for 3,000 rupees less. See what has happened to you. 3,000 less and 5,000 cashbacks. Then I said, somebody promised me a 5,000 cashback. Abhi tak nahi aaya. So see, where the dukkha has come? Got a lovely phone, but I've got a dukkha. They promised me 5,000. I should have bought a lesser one. Sukha dukkha mishritatvam atripti karam. Third thing, bandhikar. Hey, what would happen to you if your mobile got lost? Oh my God, you can't even imagine. No, you don't mind losing your life. They say there was a fellow who loved a drink very much. He was carrying a bottle home. He fell down and hurt himself. And he felt something trickling down his leg. He was praying to God. Oh God, let that be blood. Let it not be the costly liquor that I'm carrying. That's the kind of thing. Imagine you're holding in your hand. Many elderly people fall down and break their hip and knees and all these things. You know why? This is in the hand, and when it falls down, they want to save this first. That's why we take. No? When you're on a bike and you're wearing clothes with the ride up, if the bike collapses, what do? You don't protect your head, you protect your garments. And therefore, you get hit on the head. So, it is bandhikaram. It drags you down, keeps you down there. So, Vishaya gives me ananda is one moha. The second moha, more dangerous. I am this much alone. This is all I am, is it? Moha. I grow old. Moha. I will die someday. Moha. I suffer. Moha. I am not looking good enough. Moha. My complexion is not good enough. All moha. You try to correct it. Somebody applies a cream this side. I saw a Bengali movie. Somebody doesn't have hair here. So the scientist gives him an oil. He says, you apply oil, hair will go. So after 20 days, this fellow comes. And he asks in Bengali, Apnar kesh uppanna hoyeche? Has hair grown? That fellow removes the cap. He said, nah, kichu haini, nothing has grown. But see, hair has grown, and he removes his garment. Right from here, right up to this, there's only hair over hair. He looks like a gorilla. So, oh, I'm not ugly. Oh, this moha. So yagyatva punarmoham evam, not there. You will lose your confusion for good, like offering oblation into the yajna fire. It will be absolutely reduced to ashes. You can apply it. ये राख मैंने माथे पे रख ली. Why? Knowledge. You put the ashes here and put it here. What does the ashes tell you? These are bhasmasat. They are all bhasma. All my objects are bhasma. I have done bhasma to them with my buddhi. I have not burnt them. I only freed myself from my dependence on them. So he says, Yagyatva na punar moham evam yasyasi. There is no punar moham possible, hey Pandava. Okay, and then the next 139. We are almost in the end. In another 2 sessions, we will complete this chapter and I will give you a full summary. Then there's a beautiful verse. I'll quickly read verse number 36 and then we will go into the next session next week. Okay. Apichedasi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittamah sarvam jnanaplavenaiva sarvajnanaplavenaiva vrajinam tarishyasi. Hold on. Apichedasi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittamah sarvam jnanaplavenaiva vrajinam tarishyasi. The beauty about our Vedic teaching, Atma Vidya, comes and tells you, you are a significant being. You are the only significant being. No other teaching tells you that. As it is, you are miserable. Somebody comes and tells you, you are a sinner, born sinner, no hope for it. Yeah, what is the point in telling me I am a useless fellow? They say Thomas Alva Madison's mother received a letter from the school saying this fellow is useless, don't ever put him in school. Take him out. His mother, he asked what is, he says, the teacher says you are too brilliant for the school, so let's do homeschool. Much later, when his mother passed away, he picked up that and that was written there. Your boy is mad, insane, keep him out. She read it differently. Hey Ishwara, here the teacher comes and says, you are a glorious, the significant being, conscious being. You have got a moha. That is itself the papa. Okay, just give the word meaning. Next week I'll take you in detail. This papam, which is the cause of all your dukkham. And it is as though a lake. Okay. Knowledge works as a plava. You know what is this plava? Plava, you know, all these, bamboos and all these things you tie together and make it a flotsam raft. Or that boat that dug out of some things like that, some out of a trunk or something like that. It is not a properly designed cruiser or a freight carrier or something like that, or a Titanic. It is something fashioned out of and it's like a plava. Plava samtarishyasi. You very well cross this body of this water body. In this water body, if you did not have this plava, you will be sucked down, you will be dragged down. What is the problem? Shoka, moha. Because of shoka, moha, you have kama, then you have krodha, then you have modha, madha, matsarya. That fellow has, I don't have. Pull you down. And with the plava, you cross over this moha abdha. Moha abdha, you cross over. This is what the teacher tells us at this point of time. I am deeply indebted to my Guruji, who has made this available to me, continues to make this available to me. Teacher Samadhi happened long back, but I listened to his tapes, notes, I made notes of his teaching from about 30 years ago. There's a new book I've got notes. Without Guru's blessing makes it work for you. Guru ensures that you learn. This is our parampara. We will follow up in the next week. Swasti prajabhya paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahisha go brahmanebhya shubhamastu nityam loka samasta skino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyaha prithvi sasya shalinim desho yam shobharahitaha brahmana santu nirbhaya sarve bhavantu sukinaha sarve santu niramaya sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya om purnamada purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnameva vasishyate om shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai ho Swami Dayananda Maharaj की जय हो सब संतों की जय हो पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय हो बजरंग बली की जय हो May Ishvara be in your life, may Jnana be strong in your life. We'll meet next Friday, same time. In between, if any one of you have questions or anything that you like to share to me, you can WhatsApp me. You can send it to my email ID, rbi.mohan@gmail.com. You may mail me. You may call me. Calling on WhatsApp, before calling, at least you should fix time. I will try to explain it to you on a one-to-one basis. We'll come on, because certain things, if I just speak or write, it will not help. We can schedule a session on Zoom where I can see you face to face and explain it. May Ishvara be with you. Every morning, 6:30 to 7, I do a Manan session where small capsules are given for you to reflect. So people who have the time can join. Ultimately, it is you. It is not about you. It is you. Ananda Swarup.